and Matt Johnson, and we are here to talk about our church history website that we built for Civil Engineering 514 with Dr. Ames. So for this project, our requirements were we had to identify 16 individual events or places and create polygons, lines, or point shapefiles for those events. So we divided those 16 events into 4 different time periods: the early church, the Kirtland period, Nauvoo in Missouri, and then the Salt Lake period. And then for these different 16 events, we had to build an interactive web mapping application which had pop-ups, hyperlinks to external data, and a drop-down zoom selection. So here we are at the Tethys portal. So here's our app, Church History. So you click on that, and here's the main page, which has a little bit of information about the web map itself, as well as kind of how to use it. And then we have this link here for help files, which if you click on that, it leads you to the GitHub repository for this project, which we will put our documentation and our help links in here when they are created.
Alright, to get to our map, we just use this button and go to map. It's pretty simple. And here we can see the full extent of our map. So all of our shapefiles on our map will have a pop-up when you click on it. For example, this one. It's the Nauvoo Temple, and there's a picture of it. And it was dedicated in the year 1846. And there's also a link for more information that you can learn more. And it brings you to a website about the Nauvoo Temple and just the history about it. So we also have lines and polygons. The lines are the travel paths that the LDS saints travel on between each time period. The polygons are just the area boundaries that were the beginning and final when the LDS members were there. To set up our map, we reference Open Layers, the version 4.0.1, and we set our height width to 800 pixels and width by 100. We then link all our style sheets for anything that we need throughout the map.html. Then we set the projection that we want, which is WebMacator, just so we have the right projection. And then, so we set the raster as the map, the Bing map. So we use a Bing map, and we set the image set as an aerial, just for like an overview of the United States. And we also had to get a key from Bing Maps, so we were able to use the software. So our variables, we set them up by just calling them the name, and just calling the projection, which is the WebMacator, and the URL. So the URL is the folder where the KML is stored in, and it's stored in just my first app, KML, and just the title of the KML file, which is Salt Lake Temple. Then down here, we have the map where we're actually setting up the map. And we have a target document.element by ID, just the map, which is the title. And then we're calling all the layers we want to put into the map, which is raster, which is the Bing maps. And then we have Kirtland, which is, and the rest of them, which are the KML files. And for the initial view, when you load the website, we have this, we centered it with the lat and long of -95 and 42, and with the right projection. We also set the zoom to 6 so we could see the full extent of all the shapefiles. So we then create an element for the pop-ups so that when you click on one of the shapefiles or layers, that it will create an event and it will pop up a bubble just with the information from the KML file. And we're setting the positioning to bottom center, and when you stop clicking it, the event is false. And it will occur over the map.
Okay, so to provide the information for those pop-up bubbles, we made a couple if statements because we wanted different information to be displayed for the different types of shapefiles. So for a point, polygon, or line shapefile, different information comes up. So basically what we did was we just made external data in these KMLs where we were able to say what the type of file was, what the name, the year, an external data website, and then a picture. And basically what that meant was that then in here we could say if it's a point, we want to get the picture, the year, an external data, and then for a polygon we also wanted to have a population, and then for a line we wanted to know the distance traveled. So all those were set in the KML files themselves. So then when we click on the pop-up, it says, okay, get my content from this if statement. We also wanted to make a zoom function with a drop down for our map. So we made a new function, set time period, and we made it a switch with different cases. So the first case was a full extent, which is for the full map, which has that same center and zoom as when the map originally opens. Then we also have a couple other cases for early church, Kirtland, Nauvoo, and the Pioneers that zoom to different levels and zoom to different pieces of the map. And it was very important to remember to put this break right here, which tells it that the case is for just that little piece. Otherwise, the switch would think that if any of these were true, then it would run all of them, and that wasn't what we wanted. So then we made a form, so with different values for full map extent, early church, Kirtland, Nauvoo, and Salt Lake. So that can be seen right here. So we can just zoom to the different pieces of the map. So this zooms to Salt Lake, and we can see the extents of Salt Lake in 2017 and the extents of Salt Lake when the Pioneers first arrived in 1847. So that's our map. Going back to that full extent, we can see all those different pop-ups with different icons for the early church and then the journeys that the saints took on their way to Salt Lake. Thank you for watching our video, and hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.